Alec Torelli, and welcome to Ask Alec from Parma. I'm here on a very special occasion. I thought I'd share this with you guys, a little backstory about me. I met my wife, who's filming this, 5 years ago, exactly today. We're here celebrating our anniversary in the city we met. So let me show you around. That balcony up there right behind me is the apartment. When I was 24 years old, when I was 23 years old, I packed everything I owned into a little tiny backpack. I sold my M6 BMW, a bunch of other things that I owned, and I just left a conventional life in California to move right here in Italy, and it was awesome. This is the beautiful piazza, which my apartment overlooked. Spent a lot of time here. This is the Chiesa, beautiful old church. I think it's from the 1400s, but it's been a while. Behind me is an awesome coffee shop, Caffè Cavour, where I used to get cappuccino with Baileys every Sunday here. It was epic. So today's question comes from Jason, who asks, do you play poker for profit or for pleasure? And how do you make decisions at the table? If you're only playing for profit, every time the game gets bad, or you feel tired, or you're stuck, or whatever, you gotta quit. If you're playing for pleasure, then you're not always having a long-term plan where you're gonna make money, and oftentimes your motivation changes in the game. So we asked, how do you decide what your motivation is, and what do I personally do? So this is a really cool question, something that a lot of people are asking me, and I know you guys a lot of times have different motivations at the table. Sometimes you feel like it's a great game and you have to force yourself to play because profit is your motivator, and you know that if you log the hours and push against your will, push against your desire, maybe you'd rather be doing something else right now, but if you just fight that will and push yourself to play, you're gonna make a big profit. Other times you really, really want to play, but the game's not good, or you're not in a circumstance where you can play, and it's like, maybe you shouldn't play because you know that profit-wise or business-wise, you can't make the best decision for your business. So I thought this was a cool question, and I'm gonna address it right here. This was an awesome spot because I could sit right here and kick it outside, and it was cold, but I'd get a hot coffee or something, and maybe sometimes throw a little Baileys in there. And then I could sit out here and look over the Duomo. It's cool. So let's talk first about playing for profit. First, we gotta have an idea of what playing for profit means. What that means is that you're playing the game because you can't afford to play for pleasure. You have to play in a situation where making money is your primary goal in that game. So your outlook changes when that happens. They've actually done a lot of studies about this with intrinsic and extrinsic motivations. When you're intrinsically motivated, which is playing for pleasure, you perform better and you enjoy it more. When you're extrinsically motivated, which is playing for profit, the enjoyment and performance tend to go down because you're not driven from an inner place. So playing for profit has a big caveat to it. It's a good thing to do. It's good to approach poker like a business and make profitable decisions, or put yourself in a profitable situation. I'm all for that. My course, 4-Step Poker, teaches people how to treat poker like a business and make a long-term career out of it. Of course, I'm not going to say that you should only play for pleasure, and it would be fun to play the biggest, hardest game in the world because that's fun. But the danger of playing for profit is that you're not actually motivated, and when that's your biggest driving factor, you don't perform your best, and you're not going to have those profitable results you're looking for. So you got to find a balance between being smart and putting yourself in profitable situations, but always staying motivated by pleasure. So what it means to play for pleasure is that it's the activity that you would rather be doing. Playing poker is the thing that day that you would rather do more than any other activity. Oftentimes, people who end up playing for profit, they give themselves the excuse that the game is so good, or there's so much money to be made, or there's a fish there and they can't quit. They end up pushing themselves, and then you get what you guys have all experienced, which is burnout. When burnout happens, the first thing that happens is that you start making bad decisions, you're not playing as well, then you start tilting, then you start losing more, then you start running bad, and then this is perpetuating cycle where things get worse and worse and worse. So that's the danger of pushing yourself too far. So while playing for profit has a little bit of its dangers, and there's a big caveat you got to watch out for, one of the things that gives playing for profit more meaning and more depth, something that's not so hedonistic, is attaching a purpose to the reason why you want to make a profit. And this gives your poker playing a lot of meaning and purpose. For example, I'll take an extreme example. If you are a professional and you have a kid and a family, suddenly there's a reason to make a profit because you want to support your family. Maybe you have a personal life goal that you want to accomplish. Actually, I'll give you a little insight. Step 1, lesson 1 of 4-step poker, the first thing we tackle is connecting your poker playing to a purpose, figuring out what are the things you actually want in your life outside of poker, and then finding ways to get those things through poker. So that's the first thing I start my course off with. It's the first thing I start on my private coaching off with because I think it's the most important thing. This bell, by the way, you guys can probably hear this. This bell, I live in this piazza over here, and every day this bell goes off like randomly, like 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, noon, 6 p.m. So no matter where you're sleeping, when you're taking a nap, or what you're doing, you're just interrupted. This reminds me of being home. So connect your poker playing to a purpose for the best results. One thing I challenge you to do is find things in your life that are cool. I mean, one of the most badass things about being a professional poker player is that you can do whatever you want with your life. Waiting for the bell. I want to continue, but you're not going to hear me. So a key way to keep pleasure at the core of your purpose, the biggest reason why you want to play the game, is to always find new ways to keep the game fun and exciting. I personally find that always happens when I'm learning. Whenever I'm learning something new, it's always an exciting outlook that I have towards the game. And instead of going there thinking, okay, I'm going to try and make exactly this much money, or this is, I'm trying to play to get unstuck or get my money back or whatever it is, if you go there with the attitude of an open mind and ready for new experiences, and you want to challenge yourself to be better and strive to learn new things, then it changes your approach to the game and it makes it a lot fun. Something I always tell my clients, and I challenge you guys to remember this, is that winning and making a profit is the result of doing your job correctly. So you got to really be motivated to play and to love the game and keep that passion for the game at the center of you. Otherwise, you're never going to perform your best and do really well. So personally for me, I've had a lot of different points in my career, a lot of times where I'm compelled to just grind and I push myself through maybe not the biggest motivation in order to play more poker. But honestly, the things that I find work the best for me are playing when I'm driven to play, when I'm really inspired to do so. Because when I do, there's nothing in the world I'd rather be doing other than playing poker. And I have the feeling like when I'm at the table, it doesn't matter what's going to happen, there's nothing that's going to stop me. So that's my A to your Q, man. And for more questions like this, definitely subscribe to my channel. Head over to my blog, alectorelli.com. Leave your name and email in the header. Subscribe to my blog there. I'm going to put out a ton of new content, and I'll always keep you guys up to date when new stuff comes your way. Thanks for watching. Cheers from Parma. Ciao.